Hey guys, it's Parker here, back at part 3 of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. So yeah, I guess we're continuing to cross-examine this rude lady. So let's go. Yes, Your Excellency. Then you may proceed with the cross-examination. Unfortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burned his wrist like that. Yes. But his hand was on a searing hot plate for at least 3 whole seconds. You can't not have noticed. Do you think so? Let me ask you something. Sorry? Ever since I arrived at this courtroom, and even still now, the fly in those unsightly black trousers of yours has been wide open. You can't not have noticed, can you? Huh? What? Ah! But trousers and burn marks are different things, lady. Haha, what fun. You haven't realized. The dear lady's absolutely right. As your friend, you embarrass me as well as yourself, Yunosu. Why didn't you tell me? Dr. Wilson was a true English gentleman. He chose honorable science over vulgar scream. Can your tiny brains imagine such a thing? Oh yes, I think my tiny brain can. Yes. Well, I can't. Anyway. Okay. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses in a toast. Yes. As you testified before, you're drinking carbonated water, is that right? Dr. Wilson says I only permitted to drink water at a time, remember. Which explains why I ordered that drink, correct, waiter? Exactly as you say, sir. Although, whether or not the professor actually drank any of the water when I delivered the steak to the table, I'm afraid I don't remember that. Damn you. I have enough English to understand at least. For the benefit of others in the court, it means bless you. No, she meant damn you. I think it means the exact opposite. Anyway. As far as I heard, the post-mortem report showed no other possible cause of death besides the gunshot. Yes! Yes, it's written here in paperwork. Fatal hemorrhage from ballistic trauma. Yes. Lucky for all of us, little burn arrest is going to kill us. And as there are no other signs of trauma in the victim's body indicating some other cause of death, it can only have been a bullet from your gun that put an end to this innocent man's life. I mean, it doesn't make sense. The burn must have happened straight away, when the plate was first brought to the table by the waiter. Yes, that's true. If it had cooled even slightly, you wouldn't have been able to make a burn like that. And if the victim burned his wrist on the hot plate as soon as brought up from the kitchen, then he must have already been dead at that point. And yet, the fact is that the victim was killed by a gunshot to the chest. And until you're able to show the core evidence to prove that, it's a complete waste of time. I concur. If there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace, please do show me. Yes. Without leaving a trace? If someone is shot, or strangled, or stabbed, or thrown from a height. However, a person's life is taken, there are always telltale traces on the body. Okay. Always aim for a false investigation. There will be physical traces without this causes of death, that's true. But maybe there's some other way of killing someone that doesn't leave a mark. If, heaven forbid, you doubt me, young man, you're going to have to tell everyone how exactly you think the professor did lose his life. Otherwise, I'm afraid your argument falls rather flat, doesn't it? Oh no, perish the dog, calling such a sweet young lady's innocence into question. On my honor, I, Taketsuchi Yaoji, will cut down any who dare cast such aspersions. A way of killing someone that leaves no trace. We need some evidence to back us up here. Yes, evidence. But of course, this country's very investigative techniques probably want to pick up on it anyway. What if she used poison? Inferior? What do you mean by that? In the lands of the Great British Empire, the police store everything found at the crime scene for later examination. But in this country, you investigate once, and that's the end of it, isn't that so? Quite right. Lad Conifer was hoping for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly, which means that even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Wait, what? Why are you coughing over there, dude? It doesn't even occur to your naive detectives to try to preserve the crime scene. I'm trying to be tactful about this as I can, you understand? Haha, killer blow! Amazing. He's actually admitting our police may be flawed, but perhaps Prosecutor Alchi is finally starting to see sense. I very much doubt that. Still, there's something about what Miss Brett just said. There was a moment before when something didn't seem quite right. Yeah, like, Hosanna was like coughing a bunch. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony or the cross-examination will be over. But that will mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a clean chink in her armor. Kazuma. What, Ryusu? There is one thing I know, is something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seemed to react a little stranger to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her at the last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time instead of targeting the woman herself. Let's see what we could get out of the detective. Alright then. I'll find out soon enough, I suppose. Alright, let's do this again.
Yes! Wait.
Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in stand with Miss Brett as their interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the English woman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him, he's lost in his own thoughts. It's time to pursue the man and his train of thought. Sorry, Pursue? I'll explain how to do it now, Rinosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? At the moment, we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. Okay, so we just switch through. But by moving the marker left and right with that, you can turn your attention to other people in the stand. There was this kind of feature in Ace Attorney versus Professor Layton. I really liked that game. Darklaw was my favorite character in that game. I really hope they port that game to the Switch later. Exactly, which means that, okay, now we could go...
Excuse me.
What's the meaning of this? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court. What's the meaning of this? It's the dual Englishman who's testifying at the moment. If you can't find fault in the testimony, blah blah blah. Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valued witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes? Do you have something to add in relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett? Well, yes, if you don't mind, I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain, which is why I, Satonaro Hosanaga, always strive to make every investigation involved in flawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can for the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. A crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. New evidence! Is this the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question? And yes, it lost all of its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago now. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming, I guarantee it. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept the glass bottle of water as evidence. The carbonated water? Okay. Miss Brett. Can you confirm that this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Yes, it was that bottle. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well, counsel may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. Ahem! The label is written in a foreign language that I don't recognize. Do you know what it says, Kazuma? I think it's French. This must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? Then go to France and ask? You can just say that you don't know. So this carbonated water is the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle. It was just plain water now. You know, I've been studying so much, I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryonosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. No, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryonosuke, in more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out, an interesting possibility. Why don't we show this?
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water? Actually, there's one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of this death, we knew that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there's poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from this glass? Order! And on that day, he was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison to his drink. There's only one person who could have possibly done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous! To suggest this thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile. Have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten that we have only just signed a accord of friendship with the British Empire? Have you even the vaguest inkling that rash accusations could jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one individual's guilt with respect to one crime. What? The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth. Ahem, if I may. Oh, Sicey forever, just shut up! It is you who should be silent. No, of course. Okay, I just heard her voice for the first time, so... Dear lady! Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. I offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police employee force as inferior. But no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I sorry for a false investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in a bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! I'm very grateful to all you Japanese. You successfully established my complete innocence. This is a hard affair. Thank you. But the cost, you lady. I was so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. But what if that poison isn't in this country? What if it's in Britain? As the prosecutor asserted, a shot to the chest with this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience that has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma? I'm sorry, Inosuke. I have nothing more. Well, if you excuse me, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Please, wait! Is that... What is the meaning of this? Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, with nowhere left to go, she appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. To be continued. We'll actually continue though. Well, I understand you are the Judicial Assistant Defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A Judicial Assistant and a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted in this court of law other than to testify. Yes, I fully understand. I asked only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late! You're too late, little girl. This trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency! I am most grateful. Hi. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, just no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The Englishwoman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical facility and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to proceedings at the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of Carrera and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Carrera? What's that? I never heard that word before. Time's up! The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you. Giselle Brett's report has been entered. Goodbye then, and good luck. You have had long enough, Counsel. We cannot detain our English guests any longer. I ask the prosecution and defense now, one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... Okay, I'm gonna look at this. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. Oh. Instant paralysis of the entire body, subsequent death, even in minute doses. Oh. Enters the body through a wound, such as infected by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients will die of suffocation. Holy shit. That's scary. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency? If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you would grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid... It's not so... blah blah blah. Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize this praises question, however. I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, Counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention? This.
Yes.
Mr. Giselle Brett, we understand you're studying under Dr. Wilson at UMA University doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Counsel? A toxin known as Carrera, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense! Carrera, you say? I never even heard of it! You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean, that you wouldn't have heard of Carrera before, for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Correct, which means no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they never identify Carrera. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, Carrera has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it was produced from an extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and was first brought to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows, laced with Carrera, suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Trappery! These abrasions are the trappery! To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would surely notice. No, the poison was like paralysis or something from what I read. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I wouldn't notice a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Carrera was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters the person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, affected victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they're in total agony, there will be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects would go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. I think it does paralysis and then he dies. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? Breathing. In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully to an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly career poison. You know, Giselle, she kind of reminds me of Dahlia from Trials and Tribulations, because Dahlia used poison to kill her victims. And you're suggesting that this bottle console actually contains this terrifying poison?
Objection!
I think it's the glass bottle. I mean, not the glass cup that Giselle had in her bag. I think that one has the poison. If I may.
Shut up!
It is you who must be taught. Of course. My lady! So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act, wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little iron boys. Sorry? To an Englishman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. Your little police games and these foolish co-romantics, it's laughable, really. But I'm getting bored of it now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! Wait, what are you doing? I like how this game never shows her face. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. I mean, the poison's probably in the glass cup that is in her bag, right? Because, like, no wonder she, like, took it for the scene of the crime. Goodness, whatever is the matter, you all look quite stunned. So, no Carrere. The bottle is clean. Is that what you're saying? You're quite incredulous, little boy, but of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings and research so concisely here in the grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. There had to have been poison in the bottle. So how'd she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation in the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have been kneeled over dead. Come on, Ryonosuke. We have all the clues now. The bottle of water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Yeah, it's the only option. Boy, you're blind! There's a possibility that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brett drinking the water from it. That's right, which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answers and evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support this assertion with evidence. What explains how the witness was able to consume the supposedly poisoned water unscathed?
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report. Oh yeah, the poison has to go through a wound in order for it to be effective. That's not a valid explanation, no. After all, we don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impotent young sergeant is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone on this. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct this to pertinent section, counsel. Which section? We've been hearing a lot about this rare poison. And it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to the point, please! But if they were to use these lace arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters are going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters don't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Good gracious, counsel, no, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to the conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it states this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. Through a wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of the particular detail seems a little strange to me though. But it all makes sense to interpret what's written like this. When Carrera enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects, however. When it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You know Carrera's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle with drinking the water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little... What? The Swan is alive? Excuse me? Well, Ryonosuke, it turns out you're an even better liar than I thought you'd be. I did a bunch of mistakes, dude. Really? Me? A liar? All this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure, but I fail to see how possible. So, the ill-bred little puppy is a new toy to play with. Some facts you read in a book, but I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw. Schoolboyish? Flaw? Assuming your brain has managed to do this, Carrera is safe to ingest. It seems like that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of a gastric suckers. Oh yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers, what are they? So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? But he had a wound. That's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no? Yeah, but the doctor had he had his tooth out, so he had a wound in his mouth. No, it is relevant to the case. That's right. Sure, even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's the animalistic desire to take down my prey.
Objection!
I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett. How dare you use that tone on me? You know very well that there's no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim saw the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Her face! Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As you now know, this poison is completely harmless and ingested. You know what I'm gonna save. I know I'm gonna mess up. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the courier? Alright, going with this medical report card. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental fatal difference between the two diners. A fatal difference? The toxic effects of Carrera only felt when the poison enters the body during open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poison water? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have. If you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Dog! So that's it. You used the analogy to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy, you'll find us soon enough. What? You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No, I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the Englishman. She smashed a bottle. Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of water from the broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle. Or not. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution? Oh, of course, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady. I don't know. I'm still thinking about the glass cup that she has in her handbag.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day using Carrere, and then, in order to frame Munoz to Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor before he shot the professor's dead body in chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say, and I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence. Exactly. And as you had nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecutor's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused. Ugh. This is unbelievable. How could this be happening? We've had her, but now is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed the evidence was a scene. Ryosu. Yes, we come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost the vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head? You told me before their powers of observation are the only thing you can really depend upon. Okay, I'm gonna save again. But yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was the foreigner with a swan on her head. So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory of the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue. Haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryosu? Come on then, swipe the smile at the Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It was a miss in my memories of that day. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere. The clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been is...
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this! Yes? What is it? Oh, he's still miles away, probably thinking about the bottle being smashed. As he said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. I wonder therefore, perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day?
Objection!
Wait a minute! Where are you going with that? Where are you going with this little boy? It's just a memory that's bothering me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What? Oh really? And what of it? Obviously that must have happened when you shot the professor. No, it's when you shot the professor. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood for the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yes. For blood to have made it on the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as he were. Giselle Brett. I beg your pardon?
Objection!
It's beyond ridiculous. Blah blah blah.
Hold it!
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean? Yes, I took the plate and then just the preserving evidence to the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care they call me a crime scene thief because of it. You did what? I took the steak that you've been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all in the name of justice. He's such a bro. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's face. I mean, plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, The court wishes to examine the plate for the victim's table immediately. Yes, sir. Sorry for the delay. Here's what you ordered. The steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector. The blood, man. Show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible! I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate. What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you. Dog. I can't agree more. Gosh, shut up, Algie. I believe we have finally reached a conclusion in this trial. Let's hope so. Then, let's pretend attend a courtroom proceedings is painful to watch, but I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over. Huh? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin and the hallmark is for the Hoei era, I believe. My Koban coin! Where I was here? No, I don't mean what is it. I mean what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This is the first time today there's been talk about Hoei Koban. My Koban coin! I've heard of pearls before Swan, but I never heard of a bullion in a bullion. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary though, which means... This is it now. I've lost. Yonosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That blessing was going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? There's another clue. Your Excellency, please wait. Plate has a clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. The only thing that's shocking is the unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Your Excellency, I think I made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As the newly foreign ally in my country, that's still a possession, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you now clearly show the court to what you're alluding. Where precisely on this plate of beefsteak is this new clue to be found? Okay, I was just supposed to turn it over to A. With the freaking A button. Okay. Oh my god.
Got it!
Good gracious, that's... Come on? What on earth? Oh wait, Earl one at that. Miss Brett. This is in fact a beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what it is, but I want no part of it. I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat that could simply have been a careless mistake by achieving a moment distraction. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to be this happened by accident in the kitchen. A rare Hawaii koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. It just turns me irrelevant to the case. I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel. A rare Hawaii koban just happens to be underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lottery job right now. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize it is you who is irrelevant, even though I'm the one on trial here. The point is essentially that we asked the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Michael Bond coin! The owner of this koban that was found underneath the beefsteak is this guy.
Take that!
Obviously, it could only be the antique dealer and owner of Razute, Kurio Korakuda-san. Kurei as in Mr. Cucumber something? Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable. Ah, yes. The old man testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember saying that I was up to something with Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired. My Koban coin! I was looking for it on the floor! My prize coin!
Objection! Yes!
Which is why I'm asking Rikoro to stand back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Officer, bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. I can't believe we come back to that pair again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down real significance of this Koban, we'll find out if it's a key element in this case. What's this all about? Why have I been caught up again? Don't you realize it's dinner time, little baby Aido? One of my son's bellies, I think he's first in a pack of wolves. Exploited by the police who were like miserable dogs forced to bear false witness. And when Catherine discovered myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more I have to say. The son of this Rosette shop owner's existence. Be that as may, Korakuda stands, something has come to light that requires their clarification. As far as the Rosette, what? Yes, that's it. The one, the very exact one that it is. My Koban coin. The resplendent splendor of first, the whole week's charging up my rusty post matching space at my fateful day. It can't be. As I thought. Young man, in line with this decrepit old fool, put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it's dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in seasoned meat juices. Is this a sandwich? Is this soaking? Is this seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means someone must have hidden it there. Somebody concealed my whole weight treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate. Who would have done such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing! Excuse me. Could I say something? Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hosonaga. I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover at a restaurant in order to investigate another case. Yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation. La Carnival is a high-cost Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of summarily executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau. Wicked crimes indeed. I wonder who's been stealing all those coins. Probably the guy on the right. We ought to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected. I don't know about the Master Thief part, but the identity of the person who stole it hid Kurokoda's Sans Koban is all too clear. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who this despicable scoundrel that stole Kurokoda's Sans Koban and hid under stake? Sorry, I can't read today. Let's present this guy. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Iyazanoza! What? How dare you, you monster! Monster? I stole that Koban, did I? I'm the Master Thief of Law Carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, catered? I mean, it wasn't me, it was Idol! Idol is the mastermind behind all this! You would push the blame for crimes to your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you, the monster, Sergeant Ozo. You. Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iyazanoza, preparing to stand on the court of Supreme Court, sir. Do any of you know? At the extraordinary low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays those expects to keep our country safe. I understand that temporary increases taxation only to risking and the conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. That's why you're stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving on money. Every 3 days I go there to do reconnaissance on the target. And I enjoy chopping while you do a good steak at the same time. It sounds like you didn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man in Koban. Yes, sir. He was the easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all. A veritable patent thief you are. I was all set to lead the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket and would be finished, idle too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could, on the double. I slipped it under the stake, hoping that I would be able to rendezvous with it again on a later date. This is ridiculous. Perhaps you could carry on this absurd pattern on your own time. Well, Miss Brett. Oh, of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense such an idea astounds me. Nonsense, is it? Well, oof. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Very well. I see no further justification of detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave. Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day. Ryunosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming. Oh no, it's just... Something with Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. I can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there's a contradiction there somewhere, something that didn't quite add up. If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking, make your voice heard. Let me save. Sorry? You can think later, but if you don't call now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett! What is it now? I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask of you. I'd like to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction? What new student nonsense it says? Well, what parting words are you talking about, Rinosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat? The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposes an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. If Miss Brett's words are truly contradictory, where is the evidence to prove it? Oh boy, here we go.
Take that!
What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see at the victim's table. The steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed. Yes, go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. They're just splitting hairs! Not true. Does something about the steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? Did she switch the plates? Extremely obvious. I thought about the shape of the edge where it's been eaten. I see you noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could have even contemplated picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. The plate was switched! Then take a good look at the steak, in particular the edge where it's been eaten. Like, it's so obvious that it was bitten instead of cut. So, the witness as she claims wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork. There shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But what is your actual point? Whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the minister just cannot possibly wait any longer. Of course, of course.
Shut up!
I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacle samurai relic. Of course. Your lady. What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers? Clearly, the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks in the steaks have for her. Rinosuke, do you know where you're going with this? Yes, now at last it's all come together. The mysterious teeth marks in the steak that are alleged to be eaten in coloring. The reason why the blessing I know I saw someone seems to have disappeared. And most importantly, the evidence that proves once and for all who shot Dr. Wilson that day. I accept that his teeth marks are a little unnatural as you put it, Counsel. I'm gonna save again. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us? Everything, Your Excellency. Everything? Yes, I believe that these barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond a doubt, any doubt, who shot Dr. Wilson. Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats. How can you be so sure? Oh, it's quite simple. If he really has such conclusive evidence, he would have presented it to the court long ago. Actually, the evidence talked about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been? What? But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. And if that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case. Very well, I feel this is my last request of the defense's trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth about this whole affair?
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hosonaga. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous! No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention is focused on the steak with its teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Noza told the court the following. I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak, and as well as admitting to stealing Korakuda-san's coin, he told us I sipped under the steak. You watch it, Kate, I'm a superior officer. Sergeant Noza, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentlelady if she'd mind me manhandling her meal to hide something in it. In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Noza's meal.
Objection!
But that makes no sense!
Objection!
The plate was switched. Of course they didn't steal it. To even such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly, so we're surely not going to suggest that the sergeant switched the two steaks over? You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, I switched my steak with the one at the foreign lady's table. What? You can't have. I never saw you such such a thing. It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic plotting. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done. Unbelievable! However, fear not, Prosecutor San. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. This is all I did, sir.
Yes!
So, Sergeant Noza switched the plates over. I mean, he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. That's correct. He took both the plates. The police presented the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slap of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing in the case.
Objection!
No, you're not wiggling your way out of this time, lady. I beg your pardon. Surely not that forgetful. Sure you remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no? You're the one who decided it was a problem, not me. The reason the defense asked to see that plate was to confirm something the defense remembers seeing. Thanks, he remembers. I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear splattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you. And there it is, the blood. Please feel free to examine it. The blood stain is clearly visible, look!
Yes!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you can see on the other side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim. Dog! It can't be. In fact, there's only one person causally have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right. Miss Giselle Brett. It's you! Outdone by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No, no, no! Oh my god. You know, guys, I think that'll be it for this part 3 of the greatest story. Sorry it went on a little too long, but yeah, that'll be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.